lots lined up on the calendar this November. Here are some highlights for kids, teens, and adults. This month in the Children's Room. Story times including ABC's Storytime, online with Miss June, Toddler Storytime with Miss Laurie, in person at Adams Shore, Toddler Storytime with Miss Dorothy online, and Toddler Storytime with Miss Catherine in person at the main library. Mrs. Miller will be running Family PJ Storytime and Rockabye Baby Storytime, and don't miss her as Mother Goose on the Loose on Thursday, November 18th. Miss Amanda will be in person at the Wollaston branch for Story Lab this month. And make sure you check out our coding clubs for kids ages 5 to 6, 7 to 8, and 9 to 10. These are in person and registration is required. You won't want to miss Dinosaur Discovery in person on Saturday, November 27th at 10 a.m. or this month's Music and Movement with Ruby on Saturday, November 6th at 10:30 a.m. live outside at the main library. For more information on Storytime series, age limits, registration for programs, and more upcoming events, visit the events calendar on our website or visit the Children's page. You can also call the Children's Room at 617-376-1300, extension 4. The Teen Advisory Board will meet Tuesday, November 9th and 23rd from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. Teens, come give input and share ideas on what you want to see happen at the library. Have fun and gain volunteer and leadership experience. Contact QUTeen at ocln.org for more information or to sign up. We are very excited to introduce Brian Montero's photo series, Images of Cabo Verde, on exhibit at the main library. The photos on display were inspired by the people and places on the islands of Fogo and Santiago in the Cabo Verde Islands. You can view this exhibit from November 1st until November 30th during our open hours. The History and Evolution of the Symphony Orchestra will be held in the meeting room Wednesday, November 3rd from 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. when Jin Kim, Music Director of Atlantic Symphony Orchestra, will present a lively lecture on the history and evolution of the symphony orchestra. This special event is co-sponsored by the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at UMass Boston and the Thomas Crane Public Library. Community yoga returns every Wednesday for the month of November. For colder weather, Rhiannon of Humble Roots Yoga is bringing the 1-hour yoga sessions inside to the meeting room at the main library. Join us at 9:30 a.m. with your mat, water bottle, and a sense of humor. Limited mats are available for those who don't have one. We welcome you to attend the next Homesteading Basics series with canning and food preservation. On Thursday, November 4th at 7 p.m. to 8:15, you can learn the basics of preserving food from the supermarket or that you grew yourself. Sunday, November 7th, come to the historic Richardson Building at the main library from 3 to 4 p.m. to hear folk duo Hungry Town. This event will also be live streamed to our YouTube channel. Learn all about aging strong and falls prevention right from home with guest host Debbie Lynn Toomey, RN and coordinator of the Tufts Medical Center's Injury Prevention Program's online sessions for adults and their caretakers. Tuesday, November 9th from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., session guest George Guara will discuss substance abuse in older adults. And on Tuesday, November 23rd from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., session guest Sherry Keating will discuss prediabetes. Visit the events calendar on our website or call us at 1-617-376-1300 for more information on attending these Zoom sessions. The Thomas Crane Public Library's Literacy Department invites you to practice your English conversation skills while enjoying a casual walk around Quincy Center on Thursday, November 4th, 10 to 11:30 a.m. for English walk and talk time. Register on our website to participate or contact us at 617-376-3295 or send an email to quenglishtalk@ocln.org. Tuesday, November 9th, Matthew A. Talon and Lieutenant Colonel Joseph F. Talon will be at the main library in person for an author talk of their book, 100 Days in Vietnam. Tuesday, November 30th, join us online for a 1-hour session starting at 10 a.m. on staying healthy through the winter. Take-home recipes and an information packet are offered in the class. Movie matinees are back. Catch the following films at the main library in the meeting room. In the Heights, Wednesday, November 10th at 1 to 3 p.m. and Saturday, November 13th, 2 to 4 p.m. Black Widow, Wednesday, November 17th, 1 to 3 p.m. and Saturday, November 20th, 2 to 4 p.m. Stillwater, Wednesday, November 24th, 1 to 3 p.m. and Saturday, November 27th, 2 to 4 p.m. Please note that the capacity for our in-person events will be limited and masks are recommended. Doors will open 15 minutes before the start of our programs. What's the news for November? The main library in all branches will be closed on Thursday, November 11th to recognize Veterans Day. And the main library in all branches will close at 5 p.m. on Wednesday, November 24th for Thanksgiving Eve, and will be closed all day Thursday, November 25th for Thanksgiving Day, and closed all day Friday, November 26th for the day after Thanksgiving. New hours for the branches: Adams Shore, Monday, 1 to 9 p.m., Tuesday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Wednesday and Thursday, 1 to 5 p.m. Wollaston, Monday to Tuesday, 1 to 5 p.m., Wednesday, 1 to 9 p.m., and Thursday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And don't forget, the main library is now open again on Sundays from 1 to 5 p.m. Bookstore news. Join us on Saturday, November 6th for the Crane Library $10 10th anniversary clearance sale. Come to the bookstore at the Spear Street entrance of the main library and pay $10 to receive a grocery bag you can fill with whatever you choose. Sale runs 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. As always, you can shop for great deals on gently used books, audiobooks, CDs, and DVDs at the Friends of the Thomas Crane Public Library bookstore. All proceeds are used to support programming and services for all ages at the library. Hours are Thursday evenings from 6 to 8 p.m. and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Literacy and Talk Time. Are you interested in becoming a volunteer literacy tutor? Help an adult learn to read. You can find more information about the program on our website at thomascranelibrary.org/learn-read. And if you'd like to attend an info session online on Zoom, email your interest to quliteracy@ocln.org. These sessions will be held Tuesday, November 9th from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. and Tuesday, November 16th, 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. Hi, I'm Margaret Lagerstad, Adult Services Librarian at the Thomas Crane Public Library in Quincy, Massachusetts. And I'm so excited to introduce to you our in-house exhibitor for the month of November, Brian Montiero. Brian will have on display on floor 1 of the main library at 40 Washington Street in Quincy, Mass, a photography exhibition titled Images of Cabo Verde. Hi, Brian. Between November 1st and November 30th, patrons can visit the library and view images of your exhibit. Tell us a little bit about your exhibit and what prompted you to develop this series.
So this past summer, I took a trip to the Cabo Verde Islands. I hadn't been back. My family's originally from there. I hadn't been back since I was maybe 5 or so. So it was a great trip, and I was going initially just as a vacation and just a way to, almost reconnect to, a part of me that as I grew, I didn't, fully understand. So I went out there just with the intention of taking photos just for my own benefit, something that I could have, that I could look back and just remember the trip in its entirety. So I carried my camera with me probably about 99% of the time I go anywhere. And it was the same thing when I was when I was on my trip. And I came back with just, probably almost 2,000 pictures, and I'm only displaying 20, and certainly I could have displayed a lot more. But when I came back, I started sharing some of the stuff that I had shot, and people just felt that I needed to share it more widely. So I didn't ever go out there with the intention of coming back with an exhibit or a photo series of any sort. It was just mainly something just for me personally. And when other people began to see those images, they wanted me to share it more widely. And, thankfully, you guys were able to pick it up and display it. So I'm grateful for that.
And this exhibition highlights the beauty of the country, but it's also intended to capture, am I to understand, the rich history of Cabo Verde? What historical context is important to this collection?
I think, so the Cabo Verde Islands, they were just an important point during the transatlantic slave trade. So there's a lot of rich history there, not only obviously the history of our people, but also, Portuguese history, and just the history of the world. It's just such a unique place in a unique island chain that I just wanted people to really see that. And I think some of the things that so this series will now help spur conversation about Cabo Verde and what it was and what it is now and what it potentially could be. So I mean that's really how I approached it. But it was never done in terms of to look back at history. But I think just the series itself, obviously, documenting the people there, the places. It's just very old, and there's just a lot of meaning. Yeah, meaning there. I mean, that's where a lot of my people came from, and before that, West Africa. So it's just an important place, and I think that it's the importance of it has been lost over time. And this series is good just to bring it back to highlight the people, the places, and the rich history of the country.
Are there any pieces in your collection that particularly emphasize your voice that you're excited to promote out of others?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I think all of them, all of the images in the series I chose, I chose for a reason. Is because they touch me in a specific way. I enjoy taking candid shots and just taking shots of the people. That's what I wanted to do. So capturing people in their normal, natural element is something that I strive for. And I think that the series captures that. But all of these images, they speak to the people, past, present, and future. A lot of the folks in the islands that I photographed, when people come to America, you begin to take on the values and the culture of Western society. When you go back to the islands, you see people that don't have a lot, but they have happiness. They have each other. It's just a different way. It's just a different way of life. So each one of these images are specific to me. If I had to choose one, I'd probably say, two of them. There's a picture of this blonde boy that I shot when I was out at the volcano in Fogo. And I actually stumbled across this picture in a photo book after my trip when he was 4 years younger. So that was an awesome experience. And also there's a picture of a gentleman who's 103 years old that I captured. And I think that one is probably my most favorite because he's been around for 2 global pandemics. He's seen Vietnam, World War I, Korea, all the major events that have happened, throughout the world. He's witnessed, and it's unique anytime that anyone lives to the age of 103, let alone live to the age of 103 and be able to just have your mental faculties still with you and be able to recall your life and be able to just walk around and get around. So those 2 are probably my favorite images from the series, but they all have their own special place for me.
And you said for this particular series, you didn't originally set out to develop it as an exhibition, but what typically inspires you as a photographer or as an artist?
People. There's a lot more that connects us than divides us. And I just wanted to showcase, the people in the islands. Sometimes Cape Verdeans come here and they get caught into the trappings of life, inner city life. They might get into some trouble, and the image that people have of Cape Verdeans is that. And I wanted to try to dispel some of that narrative and say, no, this is a beautiful country. This is what you need to see. It's important to note that, I wanted people to know that there's beauty everywhere in the world, in every nook and cranny, in every race, religion, creed, there's beauty. And it's about, just tapping into that and showcasing that to the world. The Cape Verdean people are no different than the folks that live here in America, the ones that immigrated here, past and the ones who immigrated in the past and the ones who are going to do so in the future. They came here for 3 reasons. They wanted a better life and they wanted it here. They came here with nothing but the clothes on their backs, some of them. And they had a hope and a dream, a hope that they'd make it, and a dream that future generations would be successful and that, their kids would have an opportunity in this land. they sacrificed a lot to do that, moving to a place where they didn't have family, friends, a network, a community, just so people like myself, future generations, could be allowed to have a productive life here in America. So when I went back and I shot the series, it just made me grateful for those who made the sacrifice and came to the country before me. I'm first generation Cape Verdean American. We permeate every part of society. We're teachers, we're lawyers, doctors, nurses, librarians, lobbyists. We do a whole bunch of things. And it was just my intention to just highlight those people and just, show folks a different side of life.
In your photography work, you're self-taught. How long have you been doing this?
I always like to dabble in pictures, but probably seriously, maybe 6 years now. I've been at it, and I recently moved into film photography within the past couple of years. So I'm shooting, extensively 35 millimeter and medium format, 120 film. This particular project was shot on digital just because the sheer volume of shots that I was taking. That's obviously expensive for film, and when you shoot film, you have to be very deliberate. And like I said, my intention was never to share this work. It was just something that was a personal piece. But I hope to wrap this into a greater project on the Cabo Verde Islands and incorporate every single island, and the rest of those will be done solely on film. So it'll be a different look, and I'll probably go back and shoot some of the stuff that I shot already. But it's just something that I enjoy, and I study it every day. There's always a lot to learn. You're always learning. You're always growing. There's plenty of stuff that I've shot that I might not think is good today, but I look back 2-3 weeks later, and I have a different appreciation for it. So you can learn almost anything. I tell folks, especially with YouTube, in books, and as long as you're willing to put in the time, and the effort, you can get just about anywhere.
And when you're shooting, so this one's digital, but you have a preference for film. Do you feel like there's a different connection with your subjects when you're shooting on film over digital?
Absolutely. Film is, you get one shot, one kill. That's it. Digital is very easy to just fire off a bunch of shots, and you don't really think about composition. You're not thinking about lighting. You're just shooting, and you take the best of what you get. When I shoot on film, I'm very deliberate and intentional with what I shoot, because I realize it's only 24 or 36 exposures or 12 shots if I'm shooting medium format, and the cost of me to purchase film and then develop it, if I don't do it myself, is quite pricey. So it forces you to slow down, and I think shooting film just makes you a better photographer. I tell folks, if they ever wanted to get into photography, if they begin shooting on film, when they shoot on digital, it'll be so much easier, because you understand the technical aspect of photography more. You understand light, shutter speed, aperture, all things like that. You begin to just get a better sense of. So like I said, this was a digital project, but film just slows you down, and you have to manually focus on everything. And the print itself is it's different. I can't put it into words. But the depth of field, the amount of detail on the negatives, and just the grain associated with different films and how you can push and pull. I feel like it's a more artistic form of photography, and folks that dabble in film, I feel like have a certain appreciation for photography. Not that people that shoot digital don't. Obviously, there's a time and a place for everything, but yeah, it definitely does create a different connection to the subject. Like I said, you just got to slow down and be more in tune with the elements and what's around you.
And when you're not doing photography, what else is there about you that you'd like people to know about you as an artist or as a person?
If I'm not doing photography, I'm reading books, or exercising, or doing my day job as a lobbyist. Not too much different from anybody else. Wake up, go to work, enjoy the things that I enjoy, and that's pretty much it. Every day that I wake up is is an opportunity to go learn and see and do something new. And I'm grateful for all of them. And I just indulge in the things that I enjoy because you only get one life. Um, and when I'm done, I want to make sure that I had all the rich experiences that I could possibly have. And that's why I enjoy photography. I'm not a historian, but certainly I can document everyday life and history and add my piece to the puzzle. And that's truly what I enjoy, is just capturing people, capturing moments. Because when it's all said and done, that's all we have is the memories and the pictures and the good times to laugh and talk about. So that's really what I enjoy doing in my free time.
Do you have anything that you're reading right now that you'd want to recommend?
Yeah, my book club is reading The Color Purple right now, so we're getting ready to meet up. It's an excellent book. We meet probably every couple of months and read pretty much classics and things that I necessarily wouldn't read on my own. So my family's big into reading, so it's a family book club. So each month we rotate and someone gets a pick. So the pick was The Color Purple by my nephew. So reading that right now, and that's it's an awesome book. But we've done tons of stuff in the past that I wouldn't have read on my own. Gone with the Wind, just a War and Peace, a bunch of stuff. So it's been an enriching experience.
Is there anywhere else that we can see your work or that we can direct fans of your exhibit?
Yeah, so you can catch a lot of my work on my website, which is bethelegend.com. Just as it sounds, BTHELEGEND.com, and that has my whole photo series. And from there, you can get linked to my Instagram, my emails, things like that. So if folks want to go and visit and give me some feedback and let me know what you enjoy or what you didn't enjoy, I'd appreciate it. Like I said, I want to wrap this up into a bigger project, which will probably take a few years or so. But I just want to do it right and make sure that I capture things that people find pleasing.
Well, thank you so much for sharing everything about you and your exhibit, which we're so excited to have on display for this month. You can view images of Cabo Bird by Brian Monteiro on display on floor 1 at the main library at 40 Washington Street in Quincy, Mass. from November 1st until November 30th during our open hours.
I want to thank the people in advance who are going to come out and view this. Like I said, it was a project that wasn't made with the intent to sell prints, to display prints. It was just something that was shot as a personal project for myself. And I just want to share it with everyone else and continue to do that. So folks, please, I just want them to go out and see the work and tell their friends about it so they can see it. The people of the Cabo Verde Islands are, beautiful people. They're resourceful, they're hardworking. And I just hope that I've done them justice during this exhibition.
Hi, my name is Kelly and I'm a staff member at Thomas Crane Public Library. Today I will be reviewing a film called Big Fish in Begonia. Big Fish in Begonia is a 2016 Chinese animated fantasy film directed by Liang Xuan and Zhang Chun. The protagonist is a girl named Chun who lives beyond the human world where the inhabitants have special powers. Chun embodies the begonia tree and her special power is the ability to make plants grow in an instant. For her coming-of-age ceremony, she enters the human world in the form of a dolphin. And while exploring this world, she accidentally contributes to the death of a human boy. Ridden with guilt and despair, she decides to bring him back to life, but at what cost, you'll have to watch to find out. Now, a few details about the film. It took an astounding 12 years to make, beginning as a short film only 7 minutes long. But in spite of its short length, the film was so well received that the directors decided to turn it into a full-length feature. However, this path was not easy. The project faced many setbacks and relied on crowdfunding. At one point, it was almost entirely abandoned. Eventually, it caught the attention of Enlight Media, who decided to finance the film and secure its production. So this film's development from its modest beginnings to this visual masterpiece is quite astonishing. The film incorporates a lot of Chinese mythology, and although having some knowledge and background may be helpful, it is not necessary to understand the plot. And although the film is animated, it does touch on some serious topics like life and mortality, and comes with a PG-13 rating. Big Fish in Begonia is visually gorgeous. Each scene felt like it could be a painting. Also, this film is unique because it combines both two-dimensional and three-dimensional animation. The film was a labor of love, and you can see it in each frame. I highly recommend it. You can get a copy of Big Fish in Begonia by visiting thomascranelibrary.org or access a digital copy at hoopladigital.com. And thanks for watching.
If you have ever walked through the Richardson Building, you may have taken a step up into the Aiken L extension. Did you know this was not part of the original building created by H.H. Richardson? Let's take a closer look. Built in 1908, the Aiken Addition was created and designed by architect William Aiken and funded by a donation from Albert Crane. A contemporary of H.H. Richardson, it was built with the original construction of the library in mind. The Aiken L was intended as a space to allow for more shelving and for the children's room to be built in the basement. The basement space today is now occupied by the Friends of the Thomas Crane Public Library bookstore.